Are you on there? Are you on there? There we go. There we go. All right, we are in Mobile Bay and we are targeting flounder out here. That is the main goal. I'll take anything. If some reds cruise by, some trout cruise by, even better. But our primary target this morning is flounder, so let's go ahead and check it out. All right, one thing I like to do when I'm flounder fishing, I like to have scent and flavor. I think that's a big thing when it comes to flounder. And as you can see, I put a lot on there. I've got tons and tons of this shrimp flavored Pro Cure. And my ideology behind it is if I put enough of the Pro Cure scent and flavor on there, when a flounder hits this, he's not going to be like, oh, that's plastic, I'm going to try to spit it out as quick as I can. He's going to hit that, he'll hold it in his mouth long enough where he'll try to swallow it, and I can let him play it and I can get a good hook set on him. Let's go ahead and throw it out, see if we can get some flounder. Oh, we're getting hit, we're getting hit, we're getting hit. I'm gonna just let it pause for a second. He did not. Oh, there. Oh man, I was gonna say he's not on there. So okay, we lost the tail. That's all right. We'll get another one on there, but that's a good sign. Already got into flounder. Probably should have paused just a hair longer, but it is what it is. Let me grab another bait and get ready for another flounder. All right, I just spent the last 5 minutes trying to get my jig head unstuck. So I'm going to another little spot here. Hopefully there's not quite as many rocks. I mean, I want rocks. I know those flounder like to hang up around them, but there are just so many and I have so few jig heads. I've got to be careful this morning. All right, we're mixing up. We're gonna throw out a paddle tail, see if we can get a reaction strike or something today. Just the curly tail grub, got those couple small hits early. I'm still gonna work this pretty slow, but just a little bit quicker. We're gonna see if we can't run it right past the flounder and maybe they'll be super aggressive and try to smash this instead. Oh, are you on there? Are you on there? There we go. There we go. Get up here. Yes. That's a keeper. That's an O-downer too. All right. Easy, dude. Oh man. Heck yes. That got hit and he actually wanted to run with it. That's how I knew he was on there, no doubt. I was ready to set the hook and I want to set him in this net. If I get him set, easy, easy, easy. Good night. Get him in that net. There we go. If he's in the net, he can't go nowhere. And like I said, we just needed a paddle tail, that reaction strike. And as you can see, I mean, he inhaled that. I mean, that hook is way down in there. He hammered it. That's what we were after today. Good deal. And it's even better when it's a no doubter, when you have it on there and you're like, oh, that's every bit of 14 inches. Don't even have to wonder if he's gonna make 14 inches. And like I said, I know he is a no doubter, but just because we got to be good sportsmen, we're gonna throw a tape on him real quick. We're gonna get that locked down. Hey, hey, hey. Easy, dude. Like I said, good sportsmen. We have a duty to make sure we keep nothing but legal fish. That is up there by his head. Oh yeah. He's 15. He's a little over 15. So good deal. Keeper flounder. There we go. We got us our target species. Beautiful flounder. He hammered it. Took off running like he's supposed to. Good deal. I am pumped. We're having flounder for dinner tonight. I didn't bring a cooler out here, so I'm gonna get him thrown on a stringer, tossed back out there. But man, I'm pumped. When a plan works out, that's awesome. I love it. All right, I just managed to lose my 4th jig head this morning. I got hung up 3 times. That one broke off on the cast. Not exactly sure what happened. But let's take that flounder home, stuff it, and have an awesome dinner tonight. All right, we had the fun fishing this morning. Now it's time for the hard work of actually getting this flounder ready to stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into that process. All right, first thing we're gonna do is remove the head and this little area right here. This is where all of its guts are, so we want to get rid of that. And I don't have the sharpest knife in the world, so I'm gonna have to just hack away here for a moment. Not gonna be the prettiest cut, but it will work. That's the thing. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work. All right, we'll get that. And something that'll help you through here is actually a little serrated blade. And apparently the only serrated blade we have in the house is a steak knife. I don't have any serrated fillet knives. So just watch your fingers and hack through the little bones and stuff there. And once we get that removed, we'll clean it up a little bit. All right, now we got the head removed. We got that cavity cleaned out real well. Now, this is the fun part where you actually scale it. And it's not fun at all, but the best way to do it is take a spoon, just like this. And we're gonna go over this dude for a while and get all these scales off of here. Definitely do it outside because it is gonna be an absolute mess with scales going everywhere. All right, when I get to the point where I'm pretty certain I've got all the scales off, I do like to give it a quick rinse. That'll wash any of the loose scales off and give you an opportunity to look and see if you have missed any. I can feel a couple on there. When you run your hands with the scales, you'll feel them catch a little bit. But overall, I did pretty good. Don't have as many leftovers as I thought, but we'll get those last few scraped off of there and we'll be ready for the other side. All right, we got this side done. Now we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the back side. They're gonna have some little scales on here too. Going ahead and get this side done. And then we've got a little bit more work to do. All right, I think we are done with this side as well. Let's give her a quick rinse. There we go. I'll give my board a quick rinse here too. It's getting pretty gross. There we go. And again, just one more time, just feel over the whole thing just to double check, make sure you get all the scales off of there. All right, now we're to the point where we're going to start to debone the flounder, and it's essentially just like you would normally fillet a flounder, except you're not cutting the fillets off the skin, you're leaving them on there. But I'll just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. All right, you can see this line right up here through the middle. That's going to be your lateral line. That's where we want our cut. That's where the spine is. So we're going to make our cut all the way front to back on that lateral line, so as centered up as we can on that flounder. And you'll feel when you're hitting the spine, you'll be all the way to it. And now, essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to start filleting it like we would if we were actually going to remove the meat completely off the flounder. We're going to just start working our way back. Going to just slowly lift that meat up off the bone, like so. And don't get in a rush. You don't want to screw up and leave a big hunk of flounder meat on there. Just take your time and just start peeling that meat back off the bones there inside the flounder. And it's all right if you accidentally pull up a bone like right there. I've got a piece of bone right there. You're going to be able to clean that up once you get the rest of the bones actually removed from the center of the flounder. And you're going to want to take this fillet and get it right there to the very edge of the skin. You're going to work it all the way in. You don't want to completely separate it there, but you want to get as close as you can. And if you poke a hole, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all if you accidentally poke a hole through that skin and your knife ends up coming out here. It's still going to eat the exact same. We pretty much got that side done, so we're just going to turn it and we're going to start working our fillet knife down the other side. But again, you're just going to kind of fillet this fish horizontally. Work that knife tip all the way to the outside edge there where those outer fins are. I don't know what these fins are called. I don't know if that's considered an anal fin and this one's considered a dorsal fin. I have no idea. All right, we pretty much have the top side done. Now we're going to flip it over onto his back and we're going to do the same thing on the belly. You can see right here we've got another lateral line. We're going to make our cut through there, and these tail sections are going to get a little bit thin. On a big flounder you'll have more meat. There's always more meat on the top on any flounder, but this was a 16-inch flounder. Anything usually below 16, this is going to get really thin. You're not going to have a whole lot of meat there, but you want to salvage as much of it as you can. And then here we're just going to pick a side And we're going to start doing the exact same thing we did on the top. We're going to start getting our fillets separated from the bones inside. All right, now we are literally going to get our scissors right up against that, and we're going to start nipping away at that. Just like so. You're not going to be able to remove every bit of bone, or at least I can't. I mean, I've got to trim just the edges of that bone off in there. But we're going to keep this nice and tight. Just like this. See, there's that little piece of bone hanging there. Just trim it off. Again, right here, like I said, I'm not the best at this. So I'll grab my fillet knife, start working that down, and I just nip her off. Like so. And then it's the exact same thing over on this side. Get this little bit of bone cleaned up here. Alright. Get up there and nip her off. Alright. And then just chop that off right there. There you go. There's your flounder skeleton inside. And then what I like to do, I like to just go over and make sure I don't have any pieces of bone up on the meat. Just rub my hands. You're going to feel those little end bones there. You're going to feel the tip of those bones still right there in the center. But I'm just rubbing on each side of that just to make sure I don't have any bone on the meat. Right here I've got a little bit of bone I've got to clean up. It's not a ton of bone, but more bone that I want to mess with when I'm eating it. So as you can see, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's enough bone that I want to get that trimmed down a little bit. That's better. I like that a lot better. Overall, not bad. I'm happy with it. That dude is ready to be stuffed now. Now we're not making just any stuffed flounder. We are making crawfish stuffed flounder, and it's going to be awesome. So let's get the crawfish ready. Now there ain't a whole lot to the crawfish. We're literally just going to break the heads off, throw it in the bag, break the tails. We're going to pull the meat out of there. I do like to detur them, and there we go. There's the first of many that I'm going to do here. But this is the best way I have found to do it right now. If I could just find somebody that would be willing to do all of this part for me, that'd be awesome. But nobody wants to clean a bunch of crawfish. It's a lot of work. Now, if anybody knows a secret to cleaning crawfish a lot faster, definitely let me know, because I love crawfish. I would rather eat crawfish than shrimp or lobster or crab. I would take crawfish any day, so let me know if there's a quicker way to do this than what I'm doing. All right, now we're gonna chop up an onion real quick. That ought to be enough right there. Alright, now we're going to saute these onions in some butter real quick. I'm making a huge mess with this onion. We're going to let those cook down a little bit, and then we'll start our stuffing. Now with the onions, if you don't want to, you don't have to cook them. I just want them pretty soft. When I'm eating fish like this, I don't want any crunch to it. Like if it was fried fish and it has like a crispy crust to it, then I don't mind like a crunchy onion. But when it's a baked fish, the last thing I want is crunch in there. It just makes me think of like eggshells or scales or something. I don't want that. So I'm gonna make sure these are nice and soft. All right, I've got the crawfish on the cutting board here, and I'm actually gonna chop this up a little bit. I don't want it in such big pieces, so I'm gonna grind it up a little. I'm not grinding, I'm gonna cut it up just a little bit. That way it's not in those big of pieces. It'll get spread through the stuffing, cut up like this. And I'm not too worried about a consistent size. As long as it's just chopped up kind of fine, it'll be perfectly okay. All right, those onions are looking good. That's the way I like them, nice and done. They'll be soft. Now, I'm gonna add one more thing. And because I'm lazy, I'm gonna do the pre-minced garlic here. I'm just way too lazy to do it myself. And I don't want to put this in very early because the garlic will burn if you put it in about the same time as your onions. So definitely add it a lot later. And now I'm on to the next step with this. Now I know I said I was lazy when it came to my garlic because I wasn't gonna mince my own fresh garlic. But to make my stuffing, I'm going super lazy. I'm going with stovetop. That way I can just dump it all in a pan and I'm done. All right, this stuffing calls for 1.5 cups of water and 1/4 cup of butter. I'm literally just eyeballing that. That could very well be a lot more than 1/4 cup, but that's what I'm doing with it today. So I gotta bring that up to a boil and then I will add the mix and then we'll be ready to stuff the flounder. All right, we got our water to a boil. Now we'll just dump our breadcrumbs in there. I mean, it's not really the laziest way I could have done this. I mean, I could have just went and bought pre-made stuffing, I guess. But this makes me feel a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and back the heat off. I've got to throw the crawfish in there once I get this mixed up real well. All right. Get that stirred up in there. All right, now we're gonna lay our flounder down in there. And before I start putting stuffing in there, I'm gonna open it up. Make sure we got that lined up. And while we've got that open, I'm just gonna hit the inside with some Old Bay. That's plenty. Now we'll start getting it stuffed. All right, we'll get the oven preheated to 350, and while we wait on that, we'll go ahead and stuff this flounder. And we are gonna cram a good bit of it in there. We're gonna fill it to max capacity here. We'll close that up. Oh no, no. We're gonna keep it going. We can fit a lot more. We might be able to fit all that in there. And that's what we want. I mean, we want it stuffed. Oh yeah, there we go. And then we're just gonna hit the outside one more time with some Old Bay. All right, oven is preheated. Oh, there's a surprise pan in there. Let me pull that blazing hot thing out. All right, oven is preheated. We'll get that dude thrown in there. We're gonna set the time for 25 minutes. And now we wait. All right, it is done. Let's pull this bad boy out. Oh my goodness. That looks amazing. All right, I'll just get me a big old nasty hunk of this cut off here. Oh man. Oh man, that looks good. Not doing a great job of cutting it, but we'll get us some on the plate here. Alright, it's not very stuffed after I destroyed trying to scoop it out of the pan, but it's still going to taste the same. Let's give it a shot. Man, that is absolutely amazing. Seriously, probably the best fish I've ever made myself. And that is insanely good. The crawfish stuffing, that was the key, man. That has made, this is seriously the best stuffed flounder I've ever had. I've never had it with the stuffed, the crawfish stuffing. Man, that just takes it to another level. That is awesome.
I will start doing this with almost every flounder I catch. Man, that's good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. So until next time, I'll see you later.